topic is, are the Wale and Mocama the same? So if y'all do have any questions about that topic, please ask those questions. I'm tired of beating up Mocama people. So y'all could go ahead and ask those if y'all like to. So if y'all, anything about the Southeast or the Woodland culture, if I can't answer it, if it's general, dealing with, multiple, but if it's direct about different ceremonies and different tribes, those, I wouldn't know specifically, because some of those are sacred, right? Those that I do know, that are sacred, I can't give, but those that are general, um, I can assist y'all with, also. So, any questions, or anything that y'all would like to speak on?
Um, I was thinking about really hard today about working with ancestors,
Okay.
like how to go about it.
Oh, great. Okay. Um, I'll say this much. I'll speak personally, right? And this is some things that you can use. Um, Definitely deal with the ancestors that you do know. Because there's some ancestors that have done some things. In the past that one wouldn't want to conjure up, right? Or they put out certain energies into the world that one really wouldn't want around them. So deal with those that you know that you are familiar with, whether it's first putting up pictures, right? Or simply attempting to communicate with them, on the other side. They spoke English, so your most recent ancestors will understand um, what you're trying to convey to them, right? Even if it's just through your daily life, you just sitting down and you think about it, or you get what I'm saying. You can ask them to bless a meal or ask them to eat with you, but
Hmm.
I would say it's best to use those that you are familiar. Mothers, fathers, aunties, uncles, grandparents, those type people.
So what
Once you
about
go to branching out to certain uncles and aunties, you get me, things will come back, uh that should have died genetically, they'll come back spiritually.
like a grandmother or a grandfather that you've never seen before, but they had like a good reputation in the family?
You can definitely reach out to them, but it'll be best for them to reach out to you. That way you can know that they're trying to contact you. If you attempt to contact them and you don't know what they are about, if you say, well, they have a good reputation, but how many people have a good reputation and also are reputed for doing evil things, right? So when you don't know, you can attempt to reach out, but you have to be careful on what's going to return, right? If you don't know, you can say, well, I'll deal with someone who did know and I'll communicate with them. How will I communicate with them? Well, I'm going to, again, put up their picture, put up a candle for them. I can play their favorite music, their tones, different vibrations like incense, sage, put out different flowers. I can clean my house with certain things. I can wear certain colors. I can move a certain way, which is dance a certain way. I could chant to a certain octave, right? Or all these different things, like all of that goes into quote unquote reaching out to ancestors, honoring their ancestors, or even veneration of the ancestors. So
Okay, thank you.
I do have a question
yeah,
about
yeah, no problem. Talk to me.
how people are like tribally connecting, because just like Guale or Macoma, if you look them up on Google, it'll say,
Shayla, you got
"Oh,
something? You got something?
can you hear me?"
Yeah, I got you. Talk to me.
Okay, but I was saying about like reaching out to like certain tribal people, because like if you look up Guale or you look up certain tribes, it'll say, "Oh, these people are extinct." So it's like if they're saying they're extinct online, how would you actually find them?
Excuse me, my bad. Where did I cut off?
I didn't hear anything.
Uh-oh, my bad. So let me start over. So what you would do is you will go to them and you basically interrogate them. So you attempt to figure out how did they reclaim or restore their story, or how did they hold on to it for so long after being said that they were extinct, right? So for instance, like with the Yamasi, with it being different groups of Yamasi, in 1900, I think it literally was in 1900, is when they wrote that the Amasi and the Wale were still alive in Florida, and they called them Black Indians. But in 1901, that's when the United States government, said that they were extinct. So you look at that and you say, okay, well, damn, these people said they all wiped out, but either I'm supposed to be a part of them or I know about them. So let me go ahead and talk to them and figure out what's what on their end. You get what I'm trying to say? Um, Example, like when I went to the Yamasi, it says that they're extinct. So it's like, okay, I want to know, how did you hold on to that story, or what comes with it? You have to actually go talk to those people. So
Okay, that makes sense.
I mean, if you don't, if you don't, you never know, right? So that's why I say, try to, when not try, but when you can or do have the time, um, attempt to reach out to see when you can visit these people or sit with them, or you get what I'm saying, congregate, so you can be able to actually know what's really going on. Questions. Talk to me.
Yeah, I wanted to ask something about the belief system of these tribes. So like did I know like multiple tribes had like different names for gods, and I think you had said something saying like there was different gods depending on like where their pyramids aligned up with the stars and stuff. So like were these people believing like in the same god, or was these like just different gods that they was worshiping?
That I think you answered it twice, right? Because that question is definitely twofold. So in the question, you definitely have those that worship or venerated different deities, right? And you had those who gods were the same. So with different, like for instance, I'll give you an example. So say Yahulah, right? You find Yahulah, you'll find this in uh the Hichiti, you'll find this in the Muskogee. But with someone else, you'll find Nanabuju. And this would be like with the Lenape, or you also have Wabuzu, right? Or Wabozu. So these are different deities, but some people worship the same God, and other people worship gods that were different from those. So if you're in the northern hemisphere, right? If you're in Jersey, when I went to Jersey, I think like July, we seen the Big Dipper. Being somebody that's from down here, everybody that's in the south know what our star system is. It's Orion. So of course, when we align things or things would be structured here, they would be a structured towards Orion. Some would be structured towards Pleiades or Draco, all these different systems because different beings come from these different star systems, right? So that's what they were showing here on Earth.
So the gods are based on ancestors.
Definitely, because most people were seeded from these deities, right? So they would look at them like the ancestors, those who were before them. That's like what I did the video about why no help from above. So uh, I don't know if you seen that video or not.
Yo, Cole family, what's going on?
Yoko, salute, what's good, cuz?
Man, still out here. I'm sitting down
16.
there, sitting down. Do not care about this stupid talk. What's the build on right now? We on a free build?
Yeah, I'll just, you feel me? They can ask, and everybody just asking questions. Shit, I'm waiting for them to just ask questions. They asking a question every 3 minutes. I'm just playing. Hello?
We on YouTube. What's up,
Nah, I
Master
just
P?
I just got it running right now. Eventually I'll probably drop it tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
I'll probably drop it tomorrow. But I want to go live cause I'm waiting on Reem. Reem funny, man. Reem say, why bro sneak this and you like that? You must have had whooped this ass. I say, bro, I whooped full ass all across Facebook. He had to take that bitch to Instagram. Still got his ass kicked.
They went to the Instagram with
Still got his ass.
man.
So I imagine the stories about um, Pleiades and Orion are like kept secret within the families
Some of them.
What you mean? What you mean by stories?
as far as origin.
Oh, I mean, when you hear the creation story, that's them coming from their different places. So it's not secret, it's just sacred. So you have pieces of it, but to
Right.
get the actual detail, like the actual what's going on there, that's sacred.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but when you hear the stories about the bird coming down and all of this, when you hear that, right, you think about other cultures, you add this to other cultures, what's really going on, what's going on, that every culture is saying that something came from the heavens to the waters, and when it hit, then you have earth. So somehow earth formed out of whatever was coming down into the water. And then this. Everybody just express it their different ways. So if you go to the Nile Valley, right, or if you read the book of what they call the Per Imheru, if you read the book of Gates, if you read all these different texts, they're explaining from their point of view that their ancestors came from Orion, or what they call Sa or Sahu, right, or Sabatat, which would be Ceres. This is the same thing that was going on over here, but people were keeping it inside, right? So, dealing with those star beings, there was a certain level of information that was encoded in everybody's DNA. This is why you may feel like, oh shit, I'm connected to some shit that's out there because something is trying to
Right.
send you a message. But this is what I was again explaining earlier. If you go looking for that message in this, you trying to get to somebody that you don't even know that's there. You're not at their speed, right? You don't move on their time. You don't speak their language to communicate with them. You don't know what they've been doing, but you reach out to try to contact them, and then it's some shit, some crazy shit. Then that's what you brought upon yourself. But if these were there or they are in your DNA, they're gonna reach out. So that's why you reach out to those that's familiar and those that's unfamiliar. You find you know how you'll eventually communicate with them. You'll speak their language, or they'll speak yours, or they'll teach you their language and you'll speak their language. So anybody ever had a quote unquote dream where you communicating with somebody, but you don't know what language y'all speaking?
I had a dream
What
like
was
that
that?
last year.
I didn't hear that question.
I asked, did anyone have a dream that they were communicating with someone but didn't know what language they were speaking?
Yeah, yeah, I had that.
I had that dream last year.
Should tell you something, huh? So why no help from above? Because people don't speak the language of their God. You're not on God vibration. You're not on his sound wave, her sound wave. You're not on her frequency. You're not on their frequency. You're not on its frequency. So it's like when Muslims pray to Allah, they speak the language of the culture that that deity comes from. When the real Israelites speak their language, they speak in the language of the God that their deity comes from, right? Or the culture that their God created. So the language and the culture goes hand in hand. So if you speak in the Egyptian language and you translate a word into God, then you're doing the disjustice because the word isn't God, right? If you're reading the Hebrew language or the Arabic language and you translate ilah into or ia into God, you're doing the disjustice. So you have to know the language of God or God's people in order to understand the culture. This is why we are. This is why a lot of us are feared, because when you start studying these cultures or studying the language and the culture, you start to open up or crack different codes. So whatever you say your ancestors are, learn that language and see if that's the language that the people or the person was communicating to you in.
So when people talk about these different like aliens coming down, these are like basically like the gods of some of these different people.
Yep.
So I remember I was looking at this story like last year about, I think it was like in Peru or somewhere down in South America. It said it was some aliens that came down there and it was eating like people's faces, and they showed a video of some dudes like his whole face was going down to the skull.
The thing is, like, Europeans, they make that taboo, right? Because Most ancient cultures have these stories, but they make it seem like these people don't know what they're talking about when these societies were way more advanced. So to say that, okay, well, this society lasted over 20,000 years, our mind can't even comprehend that. So how advanced were they that their social and political system survived that long before European contact? And one would have to ask in all of these cultures, where are your deities now? Right? Right? Everybody? Anybody? Right? Where they at now? This is what was going on with the Christianity, the Christism. Now it's okay. Your deities are no longer coming back to this planet. They're gonna be gone for a long time. So you have no help from above. So now you have to see yourself as deity. So when they say God's
I
people, the children of God, talk to me, cuz I could, you feel me, go on and on and on. Go ahead,
when,
cuz.
when, when this is dealing with the same topic. So when they take on somebody else's religion or spirituality, and, does that neglect their gods and their gods just neglect them as well? Or
I'm I'm glad you asked that. I was waiting on that, of course. And that's why there's no connection. That's why it's usually no connection. Because if you're not giving honor or veneration to the gods you come from, they'll cut that tie. They'll cut that tie.
So how you go about making up for that?
Say it again, Carl. My bad.
Hold on, let me take your head, man. Your headphones. Hold on.
you say something about Portola?
Boy, when them boys say over the ties, how you relink with that your God.
Perfect. This is what I was saying. Right before you came in, is that you have to learn the language of the culture that you come from, right? Or even the closest culture that you come from. Because when you learn that language, you learn how to connect with those deities on that frequency. You learn the name of the deity, you learn their actions through the language, right? You so what I say is, like, for example, say if you have a god or whatever, we'll call them Ububu, right? But say you have Kuga, for instance. With Kuga, it's like
Made you go to sleep, son.
it's like, in order, okay, again, in order to connect, you have to know the language of the deity. So okay, what language is that? You know what I mean? That word in, right? We're gonna study that culture. And when we study that culture, we'll start to find out what type of deity or what type of God this actually is.
Right.
So in
So,
that language, you create chants, right? You create little prayers, bro. Cause like, for instance, in Macoma, you said equi. That'd be like, praise the ancient ones, or praise those who have died, or those who have come before me. Or Eb also means praise those who have come before me. You get me? So it puts you on a vibration that's like, okay, I'm talking about something that's more ancient than me, right? Um, on this vibration instead of, English. So what you was gonna ask, Fire?
so what about for those who had visits?
What about it?
Visits that had something linked to their ancestors.
Wouldn't that would be someone reaching out, right?
What'd you say?
That would be someone reaching out, right?
No, not reaching out.
What do you mean?
Visits from some other being.
Having a visit from an ancestor?
Yeah.
That's them reaching out.
Oh, them reaching out. I thought you were talking about the other way around. I'm
No,
sorry.
that would be them reaching out. So having a visit from them is just them reaching out to you. Hey, you see me? Did you forget me? Don't forget me. Did you feed me today? Did you think about me last year? I don't think you thought about me in so long. How you doing today? You ever ask me how I'm doing today? I'm up here chilling. You all right? I'm all right. Reaching out.
So, oh, all right, I got another question. So that's going back to like the giving offerings and shit.
Talk to me.
I say that's going back to like to giving offerings and stuff, right?
Basically, because again, I was speaking on that too, right? So, for instance, you can set up certain things, right? To create certain energy spaces, um, altars.
I'm about to say I got an altar with all my ancestors.
Yeah, an
With a
altar.
majority of them, not all. I'm about the majority of them.
So, like with that, you make sure, okay, this is y'all place from me, right? On down here. So I'm gonna keep it clean. I'm gonna feed y'all. I'm gonna keep y'all some clean water, right? I'm gonna talk to y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and light some incense, light some candles. But these colors mean different things. So if it's green, y'all know I need that bag. Look out for your boy. If it's white, it means, hey, look, I'm trying to stay up tranquility. I need y'all to help me with love or peace, right? If it's yellow, I need y'all to brighten the whoop. So all of that go into, you know what I'm saying, giving to them so they can continue to provide for you on the other side because they're God's people, right? So they provide for us too.
Yeah.
So I had
So
something. So I remember last year I had this dream about me getting pulled out of out of the ground into like the swamp area, and when I seen her, it was my aunt, and I remember it was like short people. They took us into like this little hut, I guess like where their chief was, and he was wearing like he didn't wear feathers. He had like green leaves and a long staff, and he was saying something to us, but I couldn't hear him. Like I couldn't really understand what he was saying. But what the feeling I got from it is that he was saying that my aunt was gonna be returning, like going home, like it's like dying. And like that's the feeling I had got, but I just didn't say anything about it to like anybody in the family. But come this year, they saying that she's now starting to die from like cancer, I think they said. So is that like a dream of them trying to reach out, like tell you what's gonna happen in the future?
You might have been astral projecting, bro.
uh, yeah, definitely that. But I say damn because before my old boy died, uh, he told me he was gonna die, right? And then came to me in spirit and told me he was gonna die while he was in the house. Crazy as shit. But auntie on the phone, she'll tell you, mess me up. My wife in the house, she'll tell you, fuck me up, bro. Well, I went in the room and told my lady, like, I walked in the room and something hit me when I got in my room. I looked at my wife. I was like, well, I was 23. I looked at my lady. I said, babe, my daddy finna die. She said, don't say that. I just started crying, yo, boy. I broke down in my room. I said, my daddy died. When I tell you the next day my daddy died, I mean that. So you gotta understand the spirit is one thing. Auntie taught y'all about spirit. Spirit is energy. Soul is being, right? That's the person, not just the essence, but that's you. Body is flesh. So like Reem said, you can come out of body and send messages to other people. Like like my wife and I, we have same dreams, right? Or somebody may have a same dream as their sibling. Or you may have a dream, or you may be in your dream and do the SpongeBob and jump to somebody else's dream. But this is the world of soul. So in soul, your auntie could be leaving you a message. Now, if you can get in contact with that auntie and sit around her and comfort her while she here, that would be the best thing you can do. That way you're not just leaning on the dream. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, we went down there to see her ever since they told us that she's dying from that cancer. So we went and sat with
Type
her and talked for a while.
type shit. Definitely keep doing that, bro. Comfort her. You get what I'm saying? Spiritual connection is definitely more important than the flesh. That's why a lot of relationships don't last. People be caught in the flesh.
Because I was too scared to talk about it because I didn't want to like basically make it happen. Like I felt like I would have conjured it up if I actually would have spoke about it.
Yeah, it be that way. Uh, it be that way. Trust me, I get it.
So that astral projection stuff, that's real because I had talked to somebody about it before and they told me that's basically what that is. It's like astral projecting.
Yeah, like kind of like an out of body experience and stuff. Like you supposed to live in the. We got parallel moments and shit, right? And
Mhm.
you somehow astral project to another
The mic
parallel
breaking
moment
up,
the
bro.
way you could see. You see what I'm saying?
Say it again. Go ahead.
I've been telling him he basically astral project to another parallel moment the way he could you get that message about his people that she would have been passing away, or transcending.
Facts. Everything moving at the same time on different times. Like everything created in the same moment, but everybody move at different speeds. So those different speeds are like cuz saying the different realms, right? The different parallels. Um, but again, bro, just keep, like I said, keep comforting her. And talk, bro. If you can't ask questions about your family bloodline, uh definitely do that, right? Questions, questions, questions.
Why must before I get on here, I basically caught up on what we've been talking about.
Now I be having to mute my mic because when my mic open, it be skipping yours. Say that again.
I say I say what I must. Oh, I basically catch up on everything y'all been talking about so far.
Nah, you caught up on everything, bro. Other than you feel me, the shit that we was talking about earlier. Um, I don't know, bro. People weird, people weird, but you caught up on everything. As far as the other bill, this what I will explain is the difference between uh as I was explaining on the gram, inter political conflict and intra political conflict. Uh, don't get confused by the European jargon. What I mean by that is don't let them confuse you by how they understand certain things. So, with me, for instance, or with us, for instance, I don't just learn about Wale from the books. Learn from Wale. You learn from people that are Yamasi. You learn from people that are Cherokee. You learn from people that are Muskogee. This is why I tell y'all to follow me on Facebook. Because I got people from damn near 30 nations on my Facebook that be interacting. So you can actually interact with all these different people, right? But said all that to say, when the Europeans when they landed here and they heard these different people speaking a language, which they said, hey, this language or these languages sound utterly similar. So they must all be the same people. They are the Timucua. Now, Timucua was just one town, one village, one place. But the Europeans took that classification and threw it on everybody that spoke the language that sounded similar. Now, when they landed further up the coast, they said, "This is the island of Wale," because they speak the language of the Wale. But this is Escamuco, and this is Sepalo, and this is Tolomado, and these people way up there to the north here are the Casabo, not realizing though they spoke different languages, they had the same social political construct. So they all were under the chief that was in the south, which was Quesuga. Now, with that being said, we will say there were some Wale that learned or spoke the Mocoma language. And we can prove also that there are Mocoma that were translating the Wale language into Mocoma and Spanish for the Spanish or for the crown. So we would be idiots. I would say someone would be an idiot to believe that while these people lived amongst each other for 4,000 years, they never knew each other's language. They never knew how to communicate with each other. And they've been living with each other or by each other for 4,000 years. Not only that, the St. John's culture was created between the mash of the indigenous people from the coast and then the Timucua that were migrating into the land. But they didn't share each other or share language with each other. So you look at, okay, well, they in the Timucua language that we have today, only 8% of their words are Muskogean origin, or what they call in linguistic anthropology, Muskogean. So we know they're not Muskogean speakers, but the Wale, when the Spanish pulled up, would change their language from their native tongue into Muskogee. So eventually they became known as Muskogee, or their language became known as a Muskogean language. You also find this in texts where they hint at Muskogee being the lingua franca, or the universe, or uh the intra-continental trade language. So you can't get caught in the language like, well, they all speak the same language, so they are the same. That's stupid as shit. Or, well, they don't speak the same language, so they're different. That's crazy. Now, when we deal with the Timucua, they weren't a unified nation. Okay, I can't even say Timucua. When we deal with the speakers of the Timucuan language, they were not a unified people. They didn't all have the same political construct. But when you dealt on the coast, or when you dealt in the interior, these people had that. The Timucua were always at war with each other. And they'll say, well, the Wale and the Mocoma went to war. No, the Wale got on Mocoma ass. Or Mocama got on their ass. Why? Because the Mocama chief was kicking out indigenous people that weren't Christian. So should any we again, like I said earlier, we're not gonna feel bad for him. We're not gonna feel bad for them. So when you study it and you, oh well, they spoke this, so they must be this. This the same thing the crackers did with the Yuchi. Oh well, this band of Yuchi speak Cherokee, and they live on the Tugaloo or Tugaloo River, so they must be Cherokee. They live in Echota or Chota, so they must be Cherokee. They lived in the Ogeechee, but then they separate the Geechee from the Yuchi. But then they tell you that Geechee and Yuchi are the same, but then tell you that Ogeechee and Hichiti are the same. Somebody's confused. So if you break their codes, and get into the indigenous languages, and you start to search for the towns, and you find the names of the towns, then you starting to get the topography. You start to see why they named that town that way. What island did they name this or that? And what are the characteristics of that island? Now you starting to learn the mindset or putting yourself in the mindset of that people at that time. Questions. Got 5 more minutes. All right, everybody good?
Yeah, I'm good. I listened to you earlier, so I'm a little
Yeah,
caught up.
both of y'all finna lose. The Lions and the Dolphins gonna lose.
Hey, listen, what did I just? Why you want to do that? Why? Do I talk about Oregon or the
Yeah,
49ers? I don't mention
leave my
them.
ducks alone, man. Leave my ducks alone.
Don't mention the Dolphins, okay? It's all right.
Oh,
Look,
man.
I was about to go to explaining. I ain't explaining that. I'm just gonna leave it right there. I'm just not gonna explain the fact that we don't have our quarterback. I'm not gonna. I'm not just.
Oh no, no, we ain't gonna do
I'm
that.
not.
Y'all gonna lose. Y'all gonna
It,
lose. We ain't gonna do
I'm
that.
not.
Injury report of the game on to you. Ain't about to do that.
That's why
Hey,
I say I'm just gonna leave it right there. But I just had to put that little tad bit in
No,
there, just
we
to,
ain't want to hear
you
that.
know.
Play ball.
hey, play
Wait,
ball.
who
You
your
got to
team
back
is?
up for a reason.
Play
What
ball.
Who's
what
your
you pay
team?
him
Who's your
for?
team, sir?
I won
Who?
yesterday. I won yesterday,
Who?
so I don't do you can't
Well,
say
good.
nothing to me.
Well, good for you. Good for you. And when you lose, just remember that I may say the same words to you.
Oh
Hey,
yeah, cause you like
Because you're not
Sam
gonna
Darnold, ain't it?
go undefeated.
huh?
You like Sam Darnold?
Who me?
Yeah.
No, no, no.
Now who you like?
I a reader, man. And my college, I like them Gators.
Nah.
Who?
I a
Hold on,
reader. I a
nephew.
reader,
Who?
and I like
Who
them
team
Gators.
gonna lose? He said that. That's what he said. Nephew,
Man, she,
we
hey,
up 14
man.
zip right now. That's what he
Who?
said. He said Detroit up 14 zip.
Or who?
Seattle.
Yeah, it's over with. That's dead.
Play ball.
Yeah, I'm
Play
a Lions
ball. That's
fan.
all you can say. Play ball.
They play ball. Game ain't over though. Especially with my team, that shit ain't on.
What the first half?
This is the first quarter. No, second quarter. Yeah, first half. We just scored. We just scored.
Hey,
We
y'all know
Seattle playoff.
I found the fucking ant. I found the ant. What is it called? An ant bed inside a domino table. You know, I got a big ass domino table.
Oh,
Yeah, outside. Yeah, it's
that's
like
cool. Red ants or black ants, sugar
nah,
ants,
they ghost ants.
ghost ants.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, some ants. They don't just want no sugar. Them shits eat anything. They eat anything. But all right, y'all. Let me get in this house. Y'all know what time it is. Gotta feed my boo boo.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what's up. Go feed your boo boo.
LOL.
Take the chair.